wind, northwest 13 miles an hour. The wind chill factor makes it feel like it might be 12 degrees. And the forecast, partly sunny.
You know, it's interesting. Every time we talk to Bill Parcells and they'd play in Giant Stadium, he'd want giant weather. He'd want cold, and he'd want snow and blizzard. And he said, you know, with this team that he has, the Giants against the Bears, he said it's the first time in a big game of my life I can ever remember rooting for good weather. He thinks that this weather today is an advantage to his team.
Well, of course, playing at Soldier Field, Chicago, they're used to the elements. A lot of teams that come in here are not. Johnny Bailey and Dennis Gentry back deep for the Bears. The ball blew off the tee. If it does it again, somebody will come hold it.
I think they'll probably come hold it right now. We see Perry Williams there come running in, and he's going to hold it. Again, you want that held. You want it held gingerly.
Mike Ditka asked if he thought there was a difference. Said, I think they've got better special teams than we do. Dennis Gentry handles the opening kickoff, and they'll bring it out to the 20 where Mike Tomczak. He doesn't like to be called a backup quarterback, and indeed he was a starter at one time. In front of him, that veteran offensive line that's been together so long, Covert, Bortz, Hilgenberg, Thayer, Van Horn, the tight end James Thornton, and look out for him today. The Bears plan to utilize his talents. Anderson and Mustard, the runners. Davis and Morris, the wide receivers. They both go left. Tomczak. The Giants showing that four-man line early. And Tomczak gives to Anderson for no gain, maybe a yard. Mike Fox, ever progressing as a defensive player.
Pat, now this has to be the surprise here. You see the four defensive line here, then you have a linebacker here, a linebacker here, and a safety up here. So they have 8 men up, 4-man line, the first time they'd used that all year. So the Bears could not have expected this.
The safety up, Greg Jackson. 2nd and 9, 4 down defensive linemen. They're going to have to throw it against this, and Tomczak will. Pass is caught by Wendell Davis, a one-handed snag, knocked out of bounds by Jackson. 37-yard gain on the play.
And that was the play that the Bears needed. They needed it early. We talked about that. Mike Ditka says he's going to come out passing. Tomczak, we know, needs confidence early. And watch this catch by Wendell Davis. A one-hander. He just goes boom and catches that thing out there. I'll tell you, just watch here. He's just going to come out and run a corner pattern out there. Good pass protection. I think the Giants are in there expecting a run, play and run. Look at the space they have out there. Wendell Davis runs a perfect pattern.
The Bears back quickly, sent Anderson off to the right side for a pickup of 2. Stopped by Carl Banks.
I think that helps. You know, that's one of the things we talked about, the running. We know it's going to be Neil Anderson. We know they're going to mix in Brad Muster. But the thing that really makes the running game go is loosen up that defense. Get them out of that 8-man front so that you can have some room to run.
You're never going to be able to if you don't do that.
I think that pass to Wendell Davis was big in more way than one.
That's Muster in motion. He's a good pass receiver. Here's Lawrence Taylor all over Tomczak. He got rid of it. And the pass is knocked down. Intended for Morris. Everson Walls. Back with Morris.
Everson Walls was all over Morris. Let's watch Lawrence Taylor here. The Bears know if they're going to pass, Mike Ditka says, we got to get Lawrence Taylor blocked. They bring the guard out on him in the first play. He misses him. He made Tomczak dodge him in order to throw that one. Mike Ditka was saying last night, everyone says Lawrence Taylor slowed down. He says, I haven't seen it.
3rd and 8. And you talk about a guy who rises to a different level. It would be Taylor when the time comes. A pass overthrown. Intended for Anderson. The Bears will have to punt. Durson, the ex-Bear, on the coverage that time.
You know, the one thing the Bears did do is they got good field position. They're punting now from the 45, so the Giants should have to start inside their 20.
Maury Buford, who had a tough time with the wind at Soldier Field last week, back to punt, and Dave Meggett, the NFC leader, is back at the 10 for the Giants. Hangs for Meggett, signals fair catch. The ball bounces and is down to about the 5 by the Bears. Crosley, I believe, was the tight end who was down. James Coley, I beg your pardon. No score yet. NFC Championship game, playoff game, as Jeff Hostetler makes his first start in the playoffs. Up front of him, Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Moore, Riesenberg, with Mark Bavaro, the tight end. In the backfield, Otis Anderson, the veteran, with Maurice Carthon. Ingram and Baker start wide. Baker's left, Ingram's right. Jeff Hostetler as the Giants start from 5. The fake is to Anderson. They're going to do the same thing the Bears did. Anderson incomplete. The Bear defense, they both are stingy. Up front, Trace Armstrong and Richard Dent. The ends, William Perry and Dan Hampton. In the middle, the linebackers, Rivera, Singletary, and Morrissey. And the secondary, a good one, Wolford and Jackson, the corners. Mark Carrier and Sean Gale, the 2 safety men. They're the heart of that secondary. Second down, 10 from the 5 for the Giants. Hostetler. And off Anderson, hit by William Perry right at the line of scrimmage.
Hey, that is running into a wall. You know, looking at William Perry down there, Pat, he looked like he gained 20 pounds since last week. It could just be the white jersey.
Store a lot of food in that freezer.
Well, watch him right there in the middle. He takes on the guard, pushes the whole thing down there, and I'll tell you, once they run into Perry in that middle, that is the end of their run.
I don't think the wind bothers William Perry too much.
He will always have his feet on the ground.
Meggett in the backfield and Hostetler. Flag on the play. Hostetler out of the end zone for Baker. Overthrown, but a good workout. Penalty marker down way back at the line of scrimmage. Marcus Paul was in the coverage. Offside the Bears. Free play for the Giants.
You know, if Jeff Hostetler knew that was a free play, if he saw the Bears jump, then that's a very, very smart thing to do. If you got a free one, go big.
Defense, number 95, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down, third down.
That's Richard Dent. Here's what we're talking about right there. Moving before the ball is snapped. You see right there, he gets in that neutral zone. He didn't look like he got very far in that neutral zone. He just
far enough just to be neutral.
Right. He went from a 3-point stance to a 4-point stance.
Here's Hostetler out of the shotgun, and down he goes by Trace Armstrong. The guy who's really developed this year. Loss of 4.
See, the other guy that was right there is Dan Hampton. Dan Hampton, we know that's playing his last game. If the Bears lose, going to retire. Trace Armstrong gets in there. He's going to come from the right side of the screen. Hampton's coming straight up the middle late. There's Armstrong, and there's Hampton.
And here's Landetta about 6 yards deep in the end zone to punt it. Driving low spiral to Bailey, who handles it at the Bear 40. And the coverage teams are down in a hurry. Bobby Abrams made the stop. 51-yard punt. Only a 1-yard return. Giant Stadium. Tomczak looks at a giant 4-man front on defense. Outside, picked off by Mark Collins. Intended for Dennis Gentry, bounced out of his hands, and Collins got the rebound.
The Bears had great field position here. Dennis Gentry is a big play guy for him. This time Gentry gives up the big play. Goes into his hands, hits his shoulder pads, bounces up in the air, and Mark Collins is right there.
Dragged down by Gentry. Hampton in the game is the running back now instead of Anderson. Now he goes in motion. Hostetler sprints right. Screens left to Bavaro. Bavaro out of bounds inside the Bear 30. Knocked out by Vesti Jackson after a gain of 5.
This is an interesting thing here, Pat. Bavaro's here. He's going to sneak across there. But Hostetler sells it by sprinting this way and then throwing back across the grain. See, now Hostetler will come out here on what we call a sprint out right. And you see Bavaro drop down. He goes back across the grain to the left. When he fell down, the Bear defense lost him.
2nd and 5. Rodney Hampton, their #1 draft choice, was the deep back. And it is he who gets the carry for very little, maybe a yard, maybe none.
Yeah, it was interesting. Bill Parcells was saying the other day that he has 2 running backs, O.J. Anderson, who won't lose the game for you, and Rodney Hampton, who can win it. So who do you play? So what he wants to do is play both. Play Hampton when you're in the middle of the field, where you have a position to come up with a big play, and when you're in short yardage, goal line, inside the 20, those things, play O.J. Anderson. Then on 3rd down, of course, play this guy, Dave Meggett.
Ever dangerous coming out of the backfield. Hostetler from the shotgun. Snap from Oates is good. Bears in a blitz, and Hostetler had to unload.
That's the thing that they do against Meggett now. When they get him in there, the way to keep him in is to blitz his side. Watch Meggett. He's over here in the right, number 30. They blitz. Ron Rivera comes on a blitz, makes him block. Then they blitz from the other side. So Meggett, 1, he's a little guy who you make block, but 2, you keep him in the backfield. You don't let him get out on a release.
Barr will try from 46 yards away to put the Giants ahead. Long for him, but this one's plenty far enough. And good. And the Giants break on top. They lead 3-0 in the first quarter. Bounced off Dennis into the hands of Collins. And here's Barr's 46-yard field goal that grazed the inside of the upright and went through good. And now he's ready to kick off in the direction of Johnny Bailey and Dennis Gentry. It's going to be Bailey. With room. Bailey all the way outside the 40 to about the 47-yard line. Perry Williams finally tripped him up after a 43-yard return.
I tell you, there were some good blocks on that too, Pat, and they're going to occur right about between the 20 and the 30. Right there, right there, right there, right there. And those were the blocks that got Bailey out to darn near midfield.
Rouse got an excellent block on Renee Thompson.
There was a real collision down there.
Tomczak, who likes to change the plays at the line of scrimmage, just did. To Anderson. Neil Anderson near midfield. A pickup of 4. First 2 possessions for the Bears. They started at their own 20. Wound up having to punt. 1 pass accounted for 37 yards of that 40 in that drive, if you can call it that. on Morris. Morris inside the Giant 30 to about the 25, stopped by Guyton.
Here's the thing, the Giants are still using that four-man line. That's a little play pass. They want them to play against that run, to stay up in there tight. So the Giants are up in there tight, and their receivers like Ron Morris can get in there behind them.
Morris stuck with it. 1st and 10 Bear. Morris split wide to the right. Ball's on the 25. Giants lead 3-0. That's Muster. Anderson, beg your pardon. Stopped by Fox after he got 2 yards.
You know, the interesting thing is that Mike Fox, the rookie, started in there along with John Washington, and the normal starting defensive left end, Eric Dorsey, isn't part of this, and he's pretty good against the run. You can see that in that four-man line, it's Marshall and it's Howard, John Washington, and the rookie Mike Fox, number 93.
Muster in front of Anderson. 2nd and 9 at the 24. That's Anderson. Down to the 21, he might have gotten 3. Make 4. Washington and Howard combined to make the tackle.
You know that Mike Ditka by now knows that the Giants are playing him in a defense that the Giants haven't played all year. So he has to change his thinking. He has to change. Now you can see Washington and Fox going out. So now, of course, they're going into their 3rd down defense. But his run play calling has to be versus a 4-man line instead of a 3-man line.
And now they go with 3 wide receivers and Dennis Gentry. It's Kozlowski in motion. Out of the shotgun, it was Anderson. Flag on the play. Anderson cut down by Taylor.
I'll tell you, they all say that great players make big plays in big games. When you get them down there and the Bears are driving on you and you need a big play, and Lawrence Taylor comes through and comes up with a big play and knocks them for a 7-yard loss on a 3rd down, that's play.
Illegal motion on the offense, 2 moving at the same time. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Yeah, watch this. We'll see Lawrence Taylor lines up all over. This time he's lining up right in the middle. Watch him come straight up the middle, get the penetration there. They can't get him, and he makes a tackle for the 7-yard loss.
He's just too quick. Good players have to play well in big games. That's what they said all day yesterday. 4th down, the Bears not trying for the field goal. Tomczak back to fire. Outside to Anderson, well short of the 1st down, stopped by Greg Jackson. And the Giants take over, leading 3-0 in the 1st quarter. 5 minutes, 42 seconds left to play in the 1st at Giants Stadium. And the Giants on a 46-yard field goal by Barr lead it 3-0, and they've just taken over on downs.
Mixed up, they're up in the blimp now.
I got a hunch some of these players will be included. Hostetler just does get rid of it. And Bavaro makes the catches. The Bears were all over Jeff Hostetler.
I'll tell you, Richard Dent, watch Richard Dent, number 95. He takes an inside move on Jumbo Elliott. Elliott didn't even go to block him. Either Elliott was looking for someone coming from outside, or Dent went by him so quickly he didn't even see him.
That's what it looks like.
Watch him in the inside. He just splits a guard and a tackle. No one even touches Dent.
2nd and 1. It's Hampton and Carthon, the 2 running backs. And that's Maurice Carthon, 1st down Giants. He picked up 6. Members of the Giant defensive unit over on the sideline.
Well, of course, they're talking about that 4-man line they're using and getting the safety up there. They're really doing what the defense is meant to do, is to stop the run. Now you look on the other side, the offensive line is over there, and they've been talking about this defense that really they haven't practiced against all week.
Now the Bears put a lot of people up on the line. 8-3 this was. Hostetler's throw is wild high, intended for Bavaro.
Yeah, that's why you have to throw on first down, Pat. It's just like you said, that what they do is they're playing the run so strong, they put 8 men up here. You see right in here in the box, they put 8 men. Now, that's ganging up in the run. See, they only have 3 guys playing the pass. Now, if they do that to you, they're really forcing you. They're daring you to run, and they're just forcing you to throw the ball.
Brings up 2nd and 10 from the 39. Giants leading 3-0. Megan on the left side behind Hostetler, and he fires complete to Baker. Baker out of bounds at the Bear 36. Vesti Jackson wrestled with him, but a gain of 25, a Giant first down.
Hey, Vesti Jackson looked like he was looking in the backfield or something. Good pass protection here, gives Hostetler time. Baker runs it out. Jackson is about 8 yards away from him. I mean, Jackson was really playing inside of him, and if he does that, Baker's going to run outs on him all day. Then at the end, it looks like Vesti even gets a little face mask in there.
And gets away with it. 1st and 10 Giants at the Bear 36. 3:45 left to play in the first quarter. Hostetler chased by William Perry for a moment. Gets it to it's Anderson. Inside the 30. Sean Gale made the stop after a pickup of 7.
You know, that's the thing that the Bears were worried about yesterday, Pat, and talking to all the Bear defensive linemen, that Hostetler does move. He not only moves on rollouts and bootlegs, but he also scrambles here. Watch this. This is a play fake. He fakes in here. Now when the pass protection breaks down, he moves a little more. O.J. Anderson will see he just moves with him. He's just mirroring Hostetler. And then, boom, he's able to hit him for about a 6-7 yard gain.
2nd and 4. Ingram, the man on the move this time. And off to Carthon. Hit once behind the line. And then nudges this way. Stopped by Armstrong and Perry.
I think one thing, the Giants, because of that 8-man front, you'll see they don't want to run on first down. Look at the Giants down here. They have rush 0, pass 5 times on first down, because that's the down that the Bears are ganging up on the run.
Veteran Dan Hampton playing perhaps his last game.
He doesn't want to hear that. He wants to play one today, he wants to play one next week, then he wants to play one the following week.
Taking a lot of deep breaths. This is Anderson. Bounces away momentarily. It's close to a first down, maybe, maybe not.
I'll tell you, when you run inside against the fridge, you aren't going to get a lot of first down.
There's not a lot of give in there.
No, because most of the bounces go backwards. There aren't many bounces when you run into 72 that go forward. They go backwards or sideways, or they'll go upside down. Look at 72 back there. I mean, that's hard. How do you run? How do you like to go up to the line and say, okay, let's run in there. You got to block 72. You'd say, hey, coach, let's try something else, huh?
The referee can't even see where to put the yard marker.
I told you they bounce back. That's the difference in the bounce. Bill Parcells goes for more first downs on fourth downs than any coach I know.
Especially here. 4th and about a foot and a half.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't run it at the fridge. I mean, I would kind of try and get it off tackle or someplace else, because I don't care. You know, I mean, they say he's big and all this, but you don't move that guy.
He moves wherever he wants to move.
And he moves you where he wants to move you.
There to 26. Roscoe is the man in motion, and Hostetler comes out of there. It's the pass to Bob Roscoe, first down Giants. Picked up 6. Sean Gale knocked him out of bounds.
You know, that's a gutsy call by Bill Parcells, because you don't get another one. That's 4th down. You know, and I think you wonder, do you have confidence in Hostetler? I think Bill Parcells right here showed that he had confidence in Jeff Hostetler. I think he had confidence in Roscoe, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you call a play where your backup quarterback who's starting has to throw it to your 3rd tight end. That takes a whole bunch of guts.
That's the drive so far. Every pass they've thrown except that one's been on 1st down. This one is another one. For Baker, touchdown. This was one heck of a throw by Hostetler.
If they're going to get a big play in the passing game, it's going to be to Stephen Baker. Of course, we know his nickname is Touchdown Maker, but he is a guy who can really get open. It was a heck of a throw by Hostetler, but did Stephen Baker make a move on that corner move? He ran what we call a corner pattern. He's going to start in, then go back out. Watch Hostetler make that throw. I think they're reviewing it, Pat, right now. There's 1 foot, 2. He had both inbounds. Now we look at it from that angle. Still has 2 feet inbounds. But the move to get in that position by Stephen Baker was a heck of a move.
That shouldn't take too long. Let's review.
After further review, play stands as called. Touchdown.
Barr will try the extra point with 1 minute and 4 seconds left to play in the 1st quarter. This would make it 10-0 Giants. The touchdown maker, Stephen Baker, just put another notch in the gun from Hostetler. Good throw, good pattern, good catch.
Okay, and a good call by Bill Parcells there. The thing that made it possible, you have to remember, they got that 4th down situation. And it takes a lot of guts to go for it on 4th down, especially in a playoff game. And then to go for it on 4th down and have your quarterback throw it to a guy named Morosco, that takes a whole bunch of them.
As they continue to throw on 1st down when that occasion arises. 10-0 Giants. The winner to play the San Francisco 49ers next week at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. That's a scoring drive and a good one.
Great corner move by Baker. And a big call by Bill Parcells going for it on 4th down.
Johnny Bailey from the 3. Last kickoff return was a good one. David Whitmore. Buffalo over Miami in the snow, 44-34. Game that was much closer earlier. And the 49ers with Montana back on target, as you would expect, eliminated the Redskins.
The other thing in this game, Pat, is the Giants have really changed up. They've changed up on defense. They've passed every 1st down. Now the Bears, conversely, have run on every 1st down.
Tom Zach up under the center, and again they run on 1st down, and it doesn't work again. Anderson stopped by Eric Howard.
I think the Giants came in with a heck of a game plan to throw the Bears off. And of course you have to remember now, the Giants had 2 weeks. They didn't play last week. The Bears had to play last week, so they really had an extra week to rest and to get ready.
Don't you think also, John, it makes some difference the fact that they don't play each other a lot? First time in regular season since '87.
Yeah, and that's probably why a change works better than it would if you were really familiar.
To Muster from Tomczak. Greg Jackson out there with it.
Yeah, I can feel this Giant defense. You know, towards the end of the season, they got a little vulnerable, but they are sure fired up in this first quarter.
And that's the end of the first quarter with the score, the Giants 10, the Bears nothing. Quarter didn't look that way. The Bears got 4 yards on the ground. The Giants got 8. Third down, second down, I beg your pardon, and 10. Third down this is. Incomplete. Wendell Davis, the intended receiver. That brings up 4. Perry Williams, the defender.
You know, when you have these backup quarterbacks playing like Jeff Hostetler and they have some success, they throw a touchdown, and you see pictures of them, they just look like different guys. You can just see their confidence building.
Buford back. Meggett back.
Talk about dangerous guys, Stephen Baker being one of them. David Meggett is another one on this Giant team. That's one of the reasons Bill Parcells wanted nicer weather for those 2 guys.
Good kick by Buford. Meggett will handle at his own 30. Knocked out of bounds by the Bears. Maurice Douglas. 50-yard kick by Buford. 13-yard return by Meggett. 10-0 Giants as we open the second quarter. And here's one coming. Giants operate from their own 43-yard line. Hampton got about 3. Stopped by the other Hampton and Mike Singletary. That would be Dan Hampton. Cold, but not cold for this time of year. And a bright day at Giant Stadium in the Jersey Meadowlands.
Yeah, I think Mark Bavaro had to block Dan Hampton on that play because after the play they were both talking. You know, there was rumors or talks in the papers in New York this week that Mark Bavaro may retire after this season. And of course, we know that Dan Hampton is going to retire.
2nd and 7. Hostetler back to throw, hitting the ball knocked loose. Looked like the Bears came up with it, and they did.
Big play by Steve McMichael. McMichael just got a push, and he just exploded right through his blocker, right into and right through Hostetler and knocked the ball out.
And Hampton came up with it.
I'll tell you, watch right there. You're going to see McMichael. He's going to come right there and explode. You see him right through his blocker and right through Hostetler. William Roberts was blocking against McMichael, and he threw the whole batch of them into the quarterback.
1st and 10 Bears at the Giant 38. Those turnovers again. Muster to about the 30. Gain of 3, stopped by Leonard Marshall.
I think one thing that the Bears could probably steal a page from the Giants here and start throwing some passes on 1st down. You know, don't wait for that 3rd down or that long yardage to be passing. There you can see a shot of the Giant 4-man line. Again, the first time they've used that all year.
2nd down and 7. Tomczak back to throw, chased. Fires, picked off almost by Mark Collins as the Bears' intended receiver slipped down. I think it was Morris. No, Wendell Davis.
Yeah, Wendell Davis was down there. He was down there about the 5-yard line. You see him, number 82. He's down in the ground already, but it looked like he tried to slow up or stop to come back for the ball. Mark Collins had control and everything. You see the expression when you know you have one and you just don't get it.
So it brings up 3rd and 7. Tomczak 4 out of 9. Davis right, Morris left. With Kozlowski and Gentry on the inside of him. Tomczak back to throw it. Gets it outside to Neil Anderson. A Bear first down. Renee Thompson made the stop.
That is the type of thing that Neil Anderson, you know, you talk about stopping Neil Anderson. It's not only as a runner, but it's also as a pass receiver. You see here, he gets the ball, turns it upfield, and that's a good tackle by Renee Thompson. Renee Thompson, of course, one of the best special teamers in the league. Neil Anderson, one of the best running backs in all of football.
In every facet of the game. 1st and 10 at the 27 for the Bears. Giants lead 10-0. Here's Muster. Stopped by Eric Howard after a gain of 3.
Yeah, I think this is where the Bears have to start mixing up some. We look at today, they have on first down last week, they ran 21, passed 6. Today, they have run 7 times and only passed 1. That's where I think they have to get some of their mixture in.
2nd and 7 at the Giant 24. Giants leading 10-0. Thornton moves over to the right side. Tomczak fake to Anderson. Pass caught by Thornton. At about the 6, a pickup of 18 yards. Myron Guyton was the Giant defender.
Mike Ditka told us last night Thornton had to have a big game. He said because the Giants like to just leave a linebacker on the tight end a lot. Here it's a safety on him, but Thornton still beats him. Good throw by Tomczak. He threw it. If anyone was going to catch it, the only guy that could catch it was Thornton.
1st and goal. The ball's at the 6. Muster and Anderson behind Tomczak. Anderson for a couple. Stopped by Eric Howard again.
I tell you see Greg Jackson, the safety, up there too. The Giant defense is really ganging up on that first down run. And the way to help that, of course, is you got the 4 linemen, you have your 3 linebackers, and then you get your safety up there. But you see all those guys up in there, everyone is up in there to stop the run. You see 47, boom, he's just hitting it right now. They don't look like they're worrying about passing down there.
2nd and goal at the 4. Anderson split wide left this time. Muster to the lone back. Tomczak intended for Muster, who was open, but over his head. The Bears have only gotten 12 yards and 10 rushes.
Yeah, you're right. I think at first he was looking for Neil Anderson, who was split out all the way to the left, like you said. And then Pepper Johnson gets in his face, and he has to come back, and he dumps it off to Muster. But watch Pepper Johnson, 52 there. See, he makes him throw a bad one there. Because had he thrown it shorter or seen Muster, that would have been a touchdown.
Ex-Ohio State teammates, Tomczak and Pepper Johnson. 3rd and goal at the 4. Ditka looked on. Tomczak to Muster. Close, but not quite.
Now this is going to be really interesting for Mike Ditka. Half the Bear players are out on the sideline. What do you do now? You're down 10-0. You're in the playoffs. I think you have to kick the field goal.
I think so too.
I think you have to get on the board. That doesn't mean that that's what he's going to think, though.
4th and goal at the 1, and it really is a little bit closer than that. About the 1-foot line.
Mike Ditka's decided to go for it. I'll tell you, this is football. This is championship football. You can play in the middle of the field. You know, that's for show. This is for dough down here. This is what it's all about.
And the Bears use a timeout. 10-0 Giants. They're old.
I think if the Bears don't make it here, it could be a long day for them. If they do, we got a heck of a ball game.
Anderson and Muster behind Tomczak. Foley in motion. John Washington was the first man to hit him. Muster, the ball carrier, and he just got stuffed. That's one they'll think about for a while.
Yep, they went to the well. I don't know that you challenge a defense at home. I've always been a firm believer you get the score on the board. Watch number 73 here. He gets penetration. He's up. Mustard doesn't have a chance. Pepper Johnson hit him so hard he knocked his helmet right off his head. And then he kept playing. Did you see that? You see Pepper there? Number 52, boom, he gets hit. The helmet goes flying off, and he jumps on top of the tackle.
Anderson and Carthon, the running backs. That's Carthon in motion, and Otis Anderson breaks out of there to about the 7. Sean Gale tripped him up. A gain of 5.
Here's the way, after you make a call to go for it on 4th down, these are the feelings you had. You try and help that thing in there, but he could tell from the minute that play started it didn't have a chance.
It never did. 2nd down.
There's a guy. Pepper still doesn't have his hat on. That's all that's left is a piece of cloth. He hit him so hard he knocked everything off except that little piece of cloth.
And the helmet disintegrated. 2nd down, and the Bears answer this time. McMichael hits Maurice Carthon along with Richard Dent.
Yeah, this is the one that you know, when you talk about playoff or plays that get you to the championship, this may be the play that the Giants remember. That this is a play. This could be the play that took them to the championship game. Watch Pepper there. When the hat goes off, he still wants to get a headbutt in there. He not only jumped on the pile, but I like he led with his head.
On 3rd down, Anderson stopped in the backfield by Richard Dent. The Giants will have to punt, and the Bears should come up with reasonably good field position again.
Richard Dent signaled in the special teams, okay, come on in, special teams, do your job, and then offense, you get in here because you're going to get the ball back again with pretty good field position.
Richard's doing more and more coaching.
Remember the last time Sean Landeta was back in this position against Chicago?
In Soldier Field. The wind was really blowing that day, and it was cold, and he missed the ball. Not one of his best. Bailey signals fair catch at the 35, a 29-yard punt.
Yeah, that is not one, as you say, that's when he has plenty of room to let it all out, and he didn't get it all out.
10-0 Giants. Florida on 4th and 1. Let's listen. Helmets flying along with bodies.
That is football. The only thing is you expected, but you would have expected Brad Muster to be leading Neil Anderson instead of Anderson leading Brad Muster.
Tomczak back to throw, gets it across the middle to Muster, and Muster down at about the 16.
Yeah, I bet right now you don't second guess yourself as a coach, or you try not to, but I bet right now Mike Ditka's saying, geez, it would have been nice to have the field goal. Now, I don't know if he'd have the same field position, but just think he would have had the field goal, would have been 10-3. Now, boom, you're right back there. You're going for another shot to tie the score.
1st down, Bears at the Giant 15. Giants leading at the moment 10-0. It's Anderson on the move. Tomczak back to throw. Here comes the blitz. They get it out to Muster, who can't hold on.
I think that every time the Bears put a drive together, it's not all Neil Anderson, it's not the wide receivers, but in a drive, in a long drive, there's going to be some Brad Muster and some James Thornton in that drive.
Sometimes they lull you to sleep, those two guys. You don't think of them as part of the offense. You think Neil Anderson, and they run it. And indeed, he is a great back. But those two are the added ingredients. Here comes the blitz again. Intended for Anderson. The heat was on Tomczak, incomplete.
Well, they tried to get that quick up to Neil Anderson. He is a back most of the time, of course, but that time he lined up as a wide receiver. He was spread out wide. Now, the thing that does is Anderson is a good receiver, but when you put him out here, that puts the Giants' best defender, Mark Collins, on him. I would rather leave an Anderson, let him come out of the backfield or someplace where he doesn't draw coverage by a cornerback.
Third down at the 15. Tomczak back to throw, under pressure again, gets it incomplete. Intended for Thornton coming across. He just didn't have time, and this time the Bears will try for the field goal.
I'll tell you, I like the way this Giant defense is playing, though. I mean, they are really coming. They're not giving Tomczak any lanes to throw in. I mean, that was a bad throw. He threw it high, he threw it behind him, but they're pressuring him all day. They're pressuring him, they're hitting him, they're knocking him around, they're always on him.
Here's Kevin Butler from 33 yards out with Tomczak holding. Butler with plenty of room on that one. Gets the Bears on the scoreboard. And with 6:17 left to play in the first half at Giant Stadium, it's 10-3 Giants. Secondary members, Butler to kick it off, and he's come under criticism this year for being short on kickoffs. This one's not. Megan will stay in the end zone. And the Giants will operate from their 20. They lead 10-0.
Well, the last time the Giants had the ball, the Bear defense played outstandingly down here. They stopped them, they got the ball back, and then that turned into 3 points. And now I'm sure they have to, you know, that's what they're thinking. They have to do it again. There's a Bear offensive line, and we see Jay Hilgenberg, 63. They're looking at the shots, the still photography, the still photos of the defenses. And they're looking to see what that four-man line looks like and what they can do against it.
First and 10 Giants, their own 20-yard line. Anderson the lone setback. Hostetler back to throw, chased out of the pocket by Dent. Hostetler with room to run. Scramble for 12 and a first down. Morrissey tripped him up.
I'll tell you, does Jumbo Elliott, the left tackle, love Hostetler for that play? Because what happens, here's Jumbo, here's Dent, he comes in here, boom. Hostetler, now when he takes the inside, Hostetler just gets outside of him. So that's going to tame Dent down. You see Dent take the inside 95, and then Jumbo's just able to push him. Now when he does that, look at how it opens it up for Jeff Hostetler. Now, if he takes advantage of that, then Dent is thinking about that the rest of the game. I can't take the inside.
Dent in the middle this time. And Anderson goes where Dent left from. Ron Rivera finally made the stop. There's Rodney Hampton.
And the early report is, Pat, that he has a fractured fibula. And of course, he was the guy that, you know, was going to play such a big part in this game of spelling O.J. Anderson.
Well, if that's true, and now it's been confirmed, obviously he won't be back.
You know, and O.J. Anderson was telling us yesterday how proud he was of Rodney Hampton, and he said that he was doing things, running the football, that O.J. could just remember doing. He said it kind of brought a smile to his face watching Rodney and remember when he was young and able to do those things.
But he's still talking about next year and another 1,000-yard season. He's not ready to say goodbye yet.
No, he's gained over 10,000 yards, O.J. Anderson has, and he's talking about a goal of, well, if you get 10,000, I'd like to go for 11,000.
And who knows? First and 10. This is Anderson again, and again he got good yardage. Sean Gale made the tackle. He got 9.
Yeah, this has been a good matchup here. Richard Dent, one of the best pass rushers, defensive ends in the league, against Jumbo Elliott. Watch it here. 95 is Dent. Elliott, of course, is the left tackle there. Watch him. He fires into him, turns Dent to the outside, and then puts him on his back. That is run blocking. That's what, you know, the old line coaches, you call that drive blocking, man. They got to be able to drive block.
Anderson again, Giant first down. Sean Gale and Singletary made the stop, but Anderson got 9 more.
And I'll tell you, they're getting it on that side of the line behind John Elliott and William Roberts. They're getting good blocking in there. You know, they have some help from the tight end, Bob Roscoe, who caught that big 4th down pass. But the Giant line now is controlling the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10. The last 4 plays for the Giants have been runs, and they've gotten 39 yards. Most of it, all of it, in fact, by Anderson. Well, I'll take that back. There was one scramble by Hostetler. Anderson left side again, and again yardage. Stopped by Singletary, but he got 4.
Oh, and Richard Dent's getting frustrated. He and Jumbo Elliott are going after it after the play.
I'll meet you right here.
Yeah, he's saying right here. Of course, he remembers that drive block that we showed earlier where Elliott took him and put him on his back. And I tell you, if you're a defensive lineman, that's one place that you don't ever want to end up. You never want the back of your uniform dirty.
Anderson again. And again, O.J. with a push over the right side this time. Stopped by Steve McMichael. 4-yard pickup.
I'll tell you, look right here. Here's how these things end. We watch matchups, and you see a defensive guy win. You see an offensive guy win. And the play isn't over until it's over. And they both got a hold of each other's face mask there. That looks like the WWF. You know, I heard a new word that I'd never heard before that Dan Hampton used, saying what kind of football this is going to be. He called it slobber knocker. And I think that's what it is. I think we just saw a shot of slobber knockering.
I like that better than smash mouth, don't you?
I hate smash mouth.
10-3 Giants. First half with the Giants leading 10-3.
Look at Lawrence Taylor down there. He was looking at something. He was intense. Well, he was trying to get into that picture like he was trying to stick a helmet on it or something.
Anderson really hammered by Richard Dent. There's a guy you don't want to get too excited.
I'll tell you, that's exactly right. I mean, Jumbo Elliott got the best of him that one play. Here's Richard Dent. He's standing up on that play. He takes another inside, and when he puts you, he's going to put a slobber knocker on you, I'll guarantee you.
4th down, and it looks like the Giants are going for it. Now they call a timeout to think it over.
Well, you know, I think probably if they don't go for it, Pat, they would have to kick into the wind, which is just about impossible here.
So a timeout with 1:38 left to play in the first half. Giants 10-3. 4th down. A fake to Anderson. Hostetler on the rollout with room. First down. Hostetler down to about the 23. Pickup of 10. He gives you an added dimension, doesn't he?
I tell you, he does, and that's the second time on 4th down that the Giants have gone for it. Both times they put it in Hostetler's hands. This time he has an option, run or pass. He just runs all the way because he knows he has the first down. The other time, or the first time, he ran on a sprint out and he hit Bob Morosco, with a first down.
Giants haven't thrown a pass this quarter. They've been able to move it on the ground. Anderson inside the 20. Stopped, tripped up by Hampton. A gain of 3.
You know, the other thing, Pat, is they know this stadium. The first quarter, they were going with the wind. So they used it then. The second quarter, they've been going against the wind.
Giant timeout. They have one left.
For a touchdown, because I saw him try and kick a field goal into this wind, and he was kicking rocks in the pregame.
Everything just dies when it gets down to the goal line. Flag on the play right at the line of scrimmage. Pass was incomplete, intended for Baker. It's against the Bears.
Offside. Defense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
We'll see a few guys jump. It looks like the two guys in the middle, the one they called it on was 72, the Fridge, because once he gets started, it's hard to get that stuff stopped and brought back. The others tried to, stop it and bring it back, but he just couldn't.
No mistake about who it is.
I'll tell you, that's a test for an official. If you can miss the refrigerator from being offsides, then you can't be an official.
2nd and 3. Meggett is the back this time. And the handoff is to Meggett. Inside the 5. Gale and Carrier made the stop. Meggett got 11 and a giant first down.
Big play by Dave Meggett. Happiest guy, the kicker, Matt Barr, again. He knows, okay, now we're in here. Maybe I couldn't make it from back there. I hope we don't have to kick it. But after Dave Meggett makes this run, I know I can kick it from there. And you see Meggett, one thing he is not going to do is fumble. I mean, he put every kind of protection on that ball that you can put on it.
And the Giants just used their last timeout here in the first half with 37 seconds left to play.
I think that thing that they did on 4th down would be a pretty good play here. I think that's what Mike Ditkin's going to be thinking over there, that why not let Hostetler run with it? Yeah. Roll out, get out there on the perimeter. He's had pretty good success doing that, and then have the option run or pass.
This has been a very, very impressive drive by the Giants. 10 plays. They've gone 76 yards, all on the ground, and kept the ball 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
I've been very impressed with the Giants this first half in their game plan.
I remember they had that extra week. In fact, they didn't even work out yesterday. Bill says they don't know it by now. They'll never know. Hostetler. Touchdown to Howard Cross, but a flag on the play.
Holding.
5 yards out.
Defense.
Holding on the defense. It is a touchdown.
Well, they did exactly what we were talking about. The first 2 times they rolled out to the right. That time Hostetler went to the left.
And the only pass in that entire drive got him a touchdown.
Watch him. He's going to fake the run to the right. Then he's going to come out on a bootleg to his left and find Howard Cross, number 87, in the end zone.
Barr's extra point is good, and it's 17-3. A flag on the extra point.
Hey, Jeff Hostetler is really cool. You talk about a backup quarterback, and you'd think that he'd be nervous and all
We have
uptight.
offsides on the defense. The point is good. We will penalize 5 yards on the kickoff.
Hey, you watch this from behind. You'll see how cool he is. Watch, he makes that fake to O.J. Anderson. Then he comes the opposite way. That's called a bootleg. Watch, there's going to be hands and arms out in front of him. Boom, he just throws it in there to Cross in the end zone. In fact, there was one arm up around his neck. That was Richard Dent. And has a sleeper hold on him. That's the old sleeper. You got to check his arm. You got to check his arm to see if he's asleep yet. Hostetler is not playing like a guy who is not a starter. He is playing like a cool veteran guy who's been starting in this league for 10 years.
Well, he's a heck of an athlete. He's been around here 7 years, but There have been times in those 7 years when he's been used as a wide receiver.
We've seen him as a wide receiver. We've seen him as a special teams guy. We've seen him as a fullback on the punt cover team.
Barr bounces the kickoff to Rouse. He gets out to about the 35-yard line. 29 seconds remaining. Tillman made the stop. Don't forget to stay with us at the half. Greg and Terry, after making the journey back from San Francisco, Pat O'Brien and Leslie Visser with reports in the locker room. And that's where they'll be at the half.
Well, they don't have anything built yet. Look, they just got pieces. They got to piece that whole thing together. There's Bradshaw right there. He's waiting for it.
He's going to help with the construction.
I think he has to, because they didn't have any parts.
Here's Tomczak. Chased by Pepper Johnson. Finally throws incomplete. Wendell Davis, the intended receiver. Mark Collins.
See, now there you got Terry Bradshaw. You have Greg Gumbel, and then see, they're talking about now. You see, they got to take. See, like here, this has to go. This wall has to go up. They got to get that stuff in. They just bring everything. When they talk about bringing on the road, they bring everything on the road.
One of those platforms is Terry's. The other's Greg's.
I saw Terry had a hammer in his pocket. I just saw a hammer. He had one of those belts on.
Pass is picked off by Everson Walls. Intended for Davis. And now it is not an interception. Ball hit the ground.
That was still a pretty good play. He did drop it. It went right through his legs, but went right through his hands and then his arms and his legs. But that was pretty good coverage. They know, of course, that the Bears have to just throw a deep one with just 15 seconds left.
17-3. The Giants lead. The handoff on a draw play to Anderson. Clock still running. Lawrence Taylor on the stop. A gain of 9, but that is the end of the first half. Maybe.
I think the Bears took a timeout.
There's that crew working. Now I don't see Terry and Greg in there.
No, they hand the hammers to the other guys, but they thought the clock stopped, and they said they're going to have to take it apart again. You got to get that off the field, because the Bears, of course, they have 3rd and short here, and there's 5 seconds left, and they're going with the win. See that? You can do anything in a matter of time. 5 seconds, you can put the whole thing up there. Then at halftime, they'll look like they've been there the whole time.
And Bradshaw and Gumbel are what you call foremen.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, they held the tools though too, because they carry, those two guys carry tools wherever they go with them. I watch them and I see them. They always have, like that belt they put around their.
Yeah.
Both of them always have one of those.
You can put everything in there.
Leslie Visser carries the tools too to help put the thing together.
She's back by the locker room right now. Here's Tomczak. Gets away from one. This time, that's the end of the first half. With the score, the Giants 17, the Bears 3. And I think you have to be impressed, number one, with the Giants' game plan, and number two, with the way they were finally able to run the ball that entire drive to give them that second touchdown.
Well, in the first half, I think the Giants just came out here. They looked a lot fresher. I think they just physically have beaten the Bears in that first half. I think that last week took a lot out of the Bears. That Saint game, the Giants didn't have to play. They looked fresh. They looked very sharp. I like their game plan, and I like their execution. They have just beaten the Bears to the punch.
What do the Bears need to do about that?
Well, I think the thing that would help him is probably to get the win and then do something. But if you look at what they did today, they've only rushed for 23 yards. That has to go way, way up. And then you can see third down conversions, only 1 out of 7, and 0 out of 3 on fourth down conversions. That's what's been killing them.
Bouncing kickoff to Ingram, who is hit at about the 35 and flung to the ground by James Rouse, and the flag comes down.
I know one thing, you talk about playoff and you talk about urgency. That's what the Bears ought to be thinking about there at halftime. We need emotion. We got to go out there and whip them, because if we don't, our season is over. The winner of this game goes and plays the 49ers for the championship. The loser goes home.
It's the finality of the whole thing that's part of it.
And sometimes you're a coach.
Foul on the kicking team, number 30, 15 yards, first down.
Sometimes you're a coach and you go in and you fire your guys up and you say, hey, we have to do that, and then they come out too fired up. Now that that tackle I think was fine. It had to be something that happened after the tackle.
There was a little shoving going on after that.
Yeah, because they couldn't call a 15-yard penalty on that tackle.
In any case, it's first down, Giants at midfield. They lead 17-3. Anderson and Carthon are the running backs, and here's Hostetler with the win, back to Baker. Incomplete. Vesti Jackson back with Baker.
Hey, one thing about Stephen Baker, he's a little guy. He only weighs about 160 pounds, but watch him get up in the air. I mean, he is up in the air. He is over Jackson's head. In fact, I think he had his hands over Jackson's head, and the ball may have hit Jackson's helmet.
Or shoulder pad, one of the two.
Stephen Baker's an exciting player.
He really is. 2nd and 10. Carthon in motion. They give to Anderson. He slips down at midfield. William Perry clamped him down.
I think Anderson slipped right in the paint there. But look at the Giants. You see how much they rushed for their 85 yards, 4.5 yards, 6.4 on first down. That's big because they did a lot of passing on first down. 0 for 5 on third down conversions, but the big point, 2 for 2 on fourth down, because both of those fourth down conversions they turned into touchdowns.
Both rollouts by Hostetler. Meggett. Here comes the Bears blitz. Hostetler up the middle, gets rid of it to Bavaro. Vesti Jackson knocked him out of bounds. He's close to a first down.
I don't know if he got the first down or not, but if he did, this was one great effort by Mark Bavaro. Pretty good effort by Hostetler getting him the ball. But look here, he looks like he should be tackled, should go out of bounds there, but he made that one lurch to get the first down. Now it's going to be interesting where they mark it here. They gave it to him. Well, I guess they didn't
now
give it to
they've whipped
him.
up the fourth down, and Bill Parcells has already got 3 tight ends in the game, which means one more time he's going for it on fourth down. Timeout, Giants.
I think they want to review that play or take a timeout. Maybe the Giants want the officials to review it. It looked on the replay like that ball did get beyond the first down marker.
They lead 17-3.
That was a heck of an effort by Mark Bavaro.
It sure was.
You see right there, it's right in front of the hash mark. You see, that's where it has to be. The ball didn't go out of bounds, and if they're going to spot it, nothing hit until the ball hit. So that ball should be in front of the hash marks.
Well, here we go.
The play has been reviewed. We have respotted the ball. We're going to measure to see if we have a 1st and 10 or a 4th down.
Mike Ditka
my question
hates his review.
My question is, why did they take it to the other side of the field to mark it?
That must be the official marking side of the field.
They're going to call it a 1st down. You're informed that that is the official side of the field. The marker's on the other side.
And it is a 1st down, and that is a heck of a move by Mark Bavaro. Look, his feet are off the ground, his knees are off the ground, his shoulders. Nothing hits till the ball hits. And you can see the ball hit beyond the 1st down marker. So Mark Bavaro knew exactly where he had to get, and he got there.
That is one heck of a play. You're right.
And it was a smart timeout, too, because they weren't going to review that until the Giants took timeout. Then they were able to look at it during commercial and change it. Bill Parcells has made some smart moves today.
He's had a lot of time to think with that week off.
He's doing that. Yeah, he's had that. He's gone for a couple 4th downs. He took a timeout to get a review. He picked up a 1st down, so he didn't have to go for it on 4th down.
So, in any case, it's 1st and 10. The Giants at the Bears 39. Anderson deep, Carthon in front of him. 1st down. Anderson to the 35. A gain of 4. Stopped by Perry. There's some life left in those legs.
I know, and he's not talking about retiring. He's not talking about playing his last game. He's talking about getting in there and gaining yardage and continue to play. And you see what happens. He knows you're not going to move Perry. Bart Oates didn't move Perry an inch, but O.J. Anderson, when he came in, moved Perry a couple inches.
13 carries, 46 yards for Anderson. Hostetler faked to him, rolled out, threw for Bavaro a little too hard and a little too far behind.
You know, Jeff Hostetler was saying yesterday that when he first became the starter, he felt that the Giants put in too many rollouts. You know, too many bootlegs, too many play passes, too many of those running type things, and didn't let him just be a quarterback. Then he said during that 2-week period, they eliminated a lot and just have the ones that he likes and the ones that he does well.
He also said something I thought was interesting. Unlike what some people think, he doesn't get back where he is now or under the center with the idea of running. He's back there to throw it. Hostetler, incomplete. Again in the direction of Bavaro, but again, the Bears applied the pressure. Morrissey was the first Bear there.
Yeah, Jim Morrissey came in and he knocked Hostetler right into the carpet. Watch that shot right there. Whoa. Now here's another 4th down, and the Giants have so much confidence in their 4th down that they're going for it. This would be a 52-yard field goal if they were to kick it with the wind. It must not be in Matt Barr's range, so they're going to go for it on 4th.
So it's 4th and 6 for a 1st down. Kyle's in the game. Here's Hostetler looking for some place to get out of there. He does. Now he's chased by Perry. And that's no race. Hostetler for the 1st down. 8 yards he picked up and enough for a Giant 1st.
The two things that kill a defense is speed by wide receivers and a running quarterback. You just think of the different things that he gives you. Watch this. Hostetler, this isn't going to be a run. The others were bootlegs and runs. There's nothing open. Meggett was covered. He starts to the middle, bounces out. Now he has to outrun the fridge. Can he do it? Yep. And when he does it, that gives him the 1st down.
First and 10, Giants at the 26-yard line of the Bears. Hostetler back to throw. Complete. And that's Baker out of bounds. Covered by Vesti Jackson. That's another Giant first down.
I'll tell you what, if you can throw like this with the wind, get some points here, then the Giants will be in great shape going against the wind in the fourth quarter and just playing strong defense.
And they've been able to run it to go along with that.
I'll tell you, Hostetler has really impressed me today. He was talking about throwing into the wind or with the wind. He said the big thing is grip. You don't want to grip it too hard. You just want to get the right grip. He's had the right grip today.
Anderson, the lone setback. Anderson whirls down inside the 10. A pickup of 7.
Mike Ditka's realizing right now that he's getting an old-fashioned whipping. I mean, they're doing it with a you know, we talked about a great game plan, but good mixture. But then it's not just calling, it's not just going for it, but it's making holes like this. It's making runs like this. It's physically controlling this football game.
Second and 3. Anderson again inside the 5 to about the 3. That should be enough for a first.
I'll tell you, had Hostetler looked out here to the left, though, Pat, he would have had a free touchdown. Stephen Baker was standing out here in the left, and there was no one on him. Watch here. Here's Baker. There's no defender here. This one's trying to get over here. But had Hostetler looked and saw this, it would have been the easiest touchdown he ever had in his life. Of course, when you get down there, they're just pounding it in there anyway. They're just having fun. You beat on them for a couple quarters, and this is a fun part of the game.
First and goal from the 3. Hostetler fake to Anderson. And now Hostetler will take off. Touchdown. Hostetler will hold for Matt Barr's effort at the extra point. Looking up at the scoreboard to recheck that touchdown he just made. Barr's extra point is good. The Giants lead 24-3 with 8:41 or 10:41 left to play in the third quarter. Giants in control, led by Hostetler. Dennis Gentry breaks out of the pack momentarily, gets it out to about the 31. Barr, the kicker, tripped him up. A couple of players slow in getting up. 24-3.
What, Barr was in on that tackle?
Right.
He's trying to get on the all-Madden team. Look, he's wobbly.
Campaigning for that.
Yeah, well, they have to help him off. He must have really made some hit. I think he's the only guy in football with the single face mask. Watch him, number 9 here. He's going to make the hit. The first thing you do is you come up and you square up, square up, square up. Then you unload your load. Boom! You let him have it. Exactly what Matt Barr did.
He keeps that up, he'll make the all-Madden team.
I might put him in there.
Hamzak, 8 straight incompletions, but that wasn't his fault.
That's the first. They had the doctor over there checking him, asking him, see, you know, can you see up, can you see down, how many fingers? I always put up 5 fingers. Hey, this is it, though. Watch number 9 come in. You see what happened? That's a pretty good tackle. The only thing is you never, ever, ever put your head down.
2nd and 10. Anderson splits wide to the right. Collins comes out with it. Flag on the play. Draw play to Muster to about the 35. Not much. Pepper Johnson made the stop. A 4-yard gain by Muster. That's Barr's helmet they're checking out. He drove some of those rivets back into it. Was a heck of a tackle.
Either that or Pepper Johnson's helmet they're still working on from that goal line play.
First penalty against the Giants.
You know, a quarterback, a kicker, is taught to never.
Offsides. Defense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 2nd down.
Yeah, a kicker's like a golfer. You always keep your head down. Always keep your head down. That's good when you're kicking. But when you're tackling, you never put your head down. See that always, you know, in the kick, always keep your head down. Keep your head down like they tell you. But not when you tackle, you don't.
2nd down. Morris was the man in motion. Tomczak gets it out to Gentry, and the Bears will have a 1st down. And Tomczak's streak of incompletions is over.
Yeah, you think of that 4th down. If you look at that, the Bears before that 4th down play, they had 105 total yards. Remember, they went for it on 4th down in the goal line, and Washington made the shot, and then Pepper Johnson. After that, like took all the air out of him.
I remember you saying at that time, this could be the ball game right here.
And as I look back, I think it was a ball game.
I think it was too. Tomczak back to throw again. Wendell Davis to about the 27. Stopped by Jackson and Guyton. Pickup of 26.
This is where the Bears have to do it, and they have to do it quickly. They have to, you know, they have the wind. This is here. If you're going to pass, you want to pass as you're going in this direction. And now's the time to do it. Good pass protection, good throw. You know, the Bears are really calling plays now. Mike Ditka's calling them, and he's halfway out on the field.
1st and 10 Bears, the Giant 28.
I think Wendell Davis got hurt on that last play, Pat. They just took him out.
Here's Tomczak. Pass is caught by Thornton. He's out of bounds after a gain of 6. Greg Jackson pushed him out.
There's Ditka there. You can see he wants to know the down and distance. He's going to call the plays.
Collins is hurt. And down. He got up for a moment. Pepper Johnson called for help, but that's Collins down.
Watch Mark Collins. He looks like right at the end of the play, he tries to pull up and he slips right on the sideline.
Right ankle on Mark Collins. 2nd and 4 Bears. Deep in Giant territory now. Tomczak gives to Anderson for a pickup of 3. They'll need a yard for a 1st. Stop by Pepper Johnson.
Yeah, the Giants are still using that 4-man line, Pat, and I think that's the first rush that the Bears have had this 2nd half, and they've really stopped them. I mean, they've really contained that running, and then of course when you get ahead, now the run's not going to do that much good. But I think the 4-man line not only surprised the Bears, but I think it's functioned very well.
And it's made, perhaps, the Bears throw more than they wanted to. Here's Tomczak, flag on the play. Dumps it out to Anderson. Anderson inside the 10, out of bounds at the 7.
The thing is, the Bears haven't had the ball a lot, but they just haven't gotten it in this man's hands enough. I mean, if the Bears have any chance offensively to do anything, it has to be in Neil Anderson's hands.
I think the Giants might have had 12 men on the field. But the Bears will stick with the play because Anderson got it down to about the 7 where it'll be 1st and goal.
Well, that's a good defense.
delay
That's the old 4-4-4.
On the defense, too many men on the
That'll get it
field
done.
at the time of the snap. Penalty was declined. 1st down.
Yeah, I think half of them were playing a 4-man line and half were playing a 3-man line, and they ended up exactly in a 4-4-4. You see, they got to 12. Here's the one guy trying to get off, and that's what it is. And then they just had 11 who were there ready to play.
At the 7, it's 1st and goal. Buster and Anderson. The rollout is to Tomczak, who fires it over everybody. Closest man was Thornton.
That was just good coverage there. Everyone was covered. I think they tried to fool him with a play pass. Didn't. Good coverage. Tomczak just threw that one away.
That's Collins. They'll take him into the locker room for an X-ray.
First, we know that now we see Mark Collins go out. The Giants today have already lost Rodney Hampton.
Davis right, Morris left. Thornton now moves over to the left side. 2nd and goal from the 7. Tomczak on a draw play. Anderson maybe to the 4.5, stopped by Reason.
That's the area that the Bears usually make so much of their running game, right inside that middle on that delay or draw type stuff. But those guys that are handling that middle, Marshall and Howard and Washington and those guys, have played extremely well in there today.
They really have. And there's a guy who came up with a tremendous plan as to how to handle Mike Ditka's Bears. 24-3, Giants lead. Muster, the lone setback. They throw it out to Muster, and he is stopped right at the 5. No gain. Everson Walls came up to make the tackle.
Hey, one thing, the Giants have really played well down in the goal line. Remember earlier this play, this could have set the tone of the whole game. This could have been the play that changed the game. This could have been the play, the situation that won the game for the Giants right here. And now they're doing it again. Here we see right here the little loop out to Muster. Everson Walls has been criticized for his tackling. Comes up and makes a tackle for no gain.
And it brings up 4th and goal from the 5. Anderson comes out as a flanker. Split wide to the right. Muster stays in the block. Nothing for Tomczak. They don't make it. He couldn't find anybody. He finally hit Thornton. But one more time, they couldn't get it in.
And these fans really appreciate their defense. All fans appreciate offense. All fans appreciate quarterbacks. But here in New York, they really appreciate their defense.
That goes back to the days of Sam Huff and company at Yankee Stadium.
Hey, when you get pressure like that, first of all, there's good coverage. Look at Tomczak. He can't find anyone. He can't see anything. And by the time he finally does, Eric Dorsey is right on him.
So the Giants take over inside the 1. That's a new maneuver by Ditka.
We had a replay. Play stands is called. Short of the goal line.
Look at the pressure. Mike Tomczak started under the guard before that play.
Eric Dorsey rolled into Tomczak just as he let it go. Giant ball. That's Carthon with it. He's hit right at the line. Struggle for perhaps a yard. Taken down by Singletary. But the clock continues. 5:25 left to play. 3rd quarter. Giants 24, Bears 3.
There's a fired up group. I mean, they came out in the introduction and the pregame warm-up that That Giant defense was fired up, and they have played that way all day. They've performed extremely well, and they've tackled very well.
Otis Anderson this time, stopped by William Perry. 49ers looking on. The winner of this will play at Candlestick next Sunday.
Yeah, they remember, I'm sure that both the 49ers and the Giants remember that last one. It was 7-3 back there in Candlestick on a Monday night game. That was a real war, and that was regular season. Imagine what a game like that will be for a championship.
Two teams with the two best records. I guess it's only fitting.
The Giants with a 24-3 lead. Now they're trying to take as much time as they can. Even in the third quarter, they're running time off.
That's Anderson. Broke a couple of tacklers, got 7 yards, and got a first down. Carrier and Armstrong.
That
stop for the Bears
is what it's all about, Pat. You know, when you can do them, and there's a lot of runs that you can make around midfield, but when you can bring it off the goal line like O.J. Anderson did just there, that is something that bends you over backwards.
The oldest active running back in the NFL. Today he looks like the youngest.
He can still play on my team.
This is Anderson again. Out to about the 18. Carrier made the stop. 6 yards for Otis.
Yeah, Otis is the type of guy that, you know, he's been in the league 12 years, and he just seems to get better the more you give him the ball. I mean, if you only give him the ball 2 or 3 times a game, I mean, he doesn't do very much. When you just give him the ball and you pound him in there and you pound him in there and you pound him over, he really comes through for you.
$18 carries, 73 yards for Anderson.
And someday in this game, before this day's over, he is going to get a headbutt or a hug from Bill Parcells.
This is Tillman around left side, giving Anderson a breather for a first down and a gain of 6. Sean Gale made the stop. They are just wearing him down.
And that's exactly what Bill Parcells wants to do. Just keep that clock going. Just wear him down. Just keep changing your running backs. Again, Rodney Hampton is out. They have lost him. They do not want to let the Bears have the ball. Just play keep away.
They've been able to do it a couple of long drives from down deep in their own territory.
And fourth down has been a real big story today.
It really has. This is Tillman again, the slasher. Got perhaps 2. Reminder that coming up next on CBS Sports, following the NFL and the postgame show, St. John's against UConn. Big East battle in NCAA basketball. Lou Carnesecca's 10th ranked St. John Redmen travel to UConn to face the 9th ranked Huskies. That's right after the game and the postgame show. 2nd and 8. Here's Hostetler back. There's a man open. It's Ingram. Another first down, stopped by Donnell Wolford.
Yeah, a guy who's really done a good job today, Pat, is Jumbo Elliott. I think someday he's going to be one of the best tackles in the league. Now, he's drawn Richard Dent, who is a good pass rusher, but here's Elliott. And again, on this play, he's just going to take him and push him to the outside. Get him going up the field. Just push him out beyond your quarterback. But I think when you talk about run blocking, pass protection, and everything, Jumbo Elliott has played a very, very solid game today.
Tillman again, the deep back. First down, Giants. Hostetler will throw it. Or maybe he'll run it. He is down in the arms of Ron Cox. A loss of 7. You're wondering what that 91 on The front of the Bear jerseys is 4 in black. Fortunately, Fred Washington involved in an automobile accident earlier this year, not too long ago, as a matter of fact. Lost his life, and the Bears remember. Second and 17. Lawrence Taylor acknowledging the fans. And this effort by the Giants. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Giants 24, the Bears 3. Gabriel is part of that Giant defense, I think.
That's something. Okay. A guy plays and no one watches him, and he said, heck, I'll bring my own horn blower.
Second and 17. Cross moving around, and Hostetler back to throw it. He got hit just as he let it go. Flag on the play. Singletary was on a blitz.
You're going to see Singletary here. They know that they have to get the ball back. They're going after him. Singletary just comes on what they call a delay blitz. No one gets him. Hostetler, when he turns to the left, the first thing he sees is Singletary, and he can't get it up over him. They call that one for grounding. I don't know. He looked like he was trying to throw it.
On the offense, number 15 is a 10-yard penalty plus a loss of down.
Loss of down is a big part of that one's third down. Opening seconds of the final quarter. Unless the Bears should tie it. Right now the Giants lead 24-3, third and 27. Meggett in the backfield with Hostetler. And the Bears show blitz. Don't come. Draw play to Meggett. Finally smothered by the Bears. Richard Dent, Dan Hampton also with an assist.
You know where the Giants have done such a good job in ball control in this whole second half. The Bears have only had the ball one time, so you're down 24-3. You're trying to make a comeback, and the frustration of it is you just can't get the ball.
It's hard to make the comeback when the other folks have got it. Landeta in the punt. Bailey back deep for the Bears. He returned 195 yards against Kansas City. That won him the punt return championship for the year. And Dennis' kick is a good one. Bailey, the first man down. Guess who? Renee Thompson.
Renee Thompson, I think, is probably the best special teams player that ever played the game. Watch him. They only got one guy on him. He has about 3 gears. He comes down in one, puts it in a second, then in a third, and then calls it down to second and makes the tackle again.
Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Setback. Pass incomplete, intended for Morris. And Hampton a little disgusted.
There's a guy who's been a real warrior in this league, and I think right now he can see a career ending. He knows that this is going to be his last year, his last season, and of course when the Bears lose, it's his last game.
A lot of people thought he shouldn't have come back this year, but he said, in fact, he told us in Chicago, when I came here, this was a pretty good house. It was pretty strong. Things seemed to be in order. And last year, I didn't like the way it looked, so I came back. Tomczak, with a lot of time this time, gets it out to Wendell Davis. Pickup of 14 yards and should be enough and is enough for a Bear first down. Best protection Tomczak's had all day.
Yeah, and it's going to be too much too late. I mean, they came in there and they had to be able to run the ball and to, you know, play pass and get some passes, and they just haven't been able to do any of those things. Neil Anderson's only rushed for 20 yards. They just didn't get the ball to him enough today.
Tomczak dumps it off to Anderson. No gain. Pepper Johnson there with Anderson.
And maybe that's why they haven't gotten to it. They've had someone like Pepper Johnson peppered to them all day. I mean, this Giant defense has really been well prepared. I mean, they're back to their three-man defense now, playing their double zone, you know, playing their conservative defensive football. But boy, did they mix up and change things on these Bears today.
Second down. Ball played to Anderson, right at the line of scrimmage by Pepper Johnson. Maybe he lost one.
Look at Pepper, he's fired up. There's Bill Belichick. He's the defensive coordinator of this team, and he's the guy that put this game plan together, and I think he did an excellent job. You know, he went to Chicago last week, watched the Bears play New Orleans, and he called his game plan against the Bears while he was sitting in Soldier Field. And he said, you know, I learned some things that could have hurt us if I would have done that. So I've changed them, and this is what he came up with.
Here's Tomczak. He gets it to Gentry, and Gentry hustles for what appears to be a first down, knocked out of bounds by Roger Brown.
Hey, talk about guys that have done a good job. There's a guy, Jeff Hostetler, you say, you know, the backup quarterback. And I've always said that a backup quarterback can win games, can even win playoff games, but I don't think can win a championship, can take you all the way to the Super Bowl. But the way this guy has played today, I don't know that I don't believe that he couldn't do it.
Well, you know, as we said before, he's been around here for a long time, 7 years, and he is a heck of an intelligent athlete. Tomczak, incomplete. Intended for Thornton.
And, you know, you talk about key plays in the game, Pat. How about Mark Bavaro's that third down play when they had to get the first down? And I don't know how he did that, how he got that ball out there and nothing else touched the ground. He knew exactly where he was and picked up that first down.
And look, he smiled.
He doesn't do much of that. Hey, it's tough on the other side. You know what's tough is realizing the finality that you just go and start putting stuff in boxes.
And about now, you start to realize that it's starting to sink in. Pass intended for Dennis Gentry. Peter Tom Willis, a man with the 3 names, warming up on the sideline. Number 10. Rookie from Florida State, Dan Hampton.
I think the thing is, one thing Hampton said, that he was able to do it his way, though. Some people thought he shouldn't come back. He wouldn't come back, but he wanted to do it. Said one thing, I did it my way.
Pass batted by Renee Thompson and batted away from the Bear receiver. Kozlowski was the intended.
You know, one of the Bear players told us about Tomczak and his confidence, and he said he noticed that the more he looks to the sidelines, the less confidence he had. He said when Mike Tomczak, and it's really not fair to say that now when it's 24-3, but he said when he has a lot of confidence, he doesn't look at the sidelines as much. And when he doesn't, he's always looking over at the sideline.
The Bears are 0 for 4 on 4th down, and it's 4th and 10. Tomczak to Kozlowski. And now they have finally converted on a 4th down situation.
Kozlowski tried to make that same move that Bavaro made, and he did. I mean, again, a smart play, knowing where you are on 3rd down and where you have to get it to. We're on 4th down. I mean, know where that marker is, and as you spin, you see him look to the sideline and then try and get one more little oomph in there. If you didn't have it before, you got it now.
1st and 10 Bears. Tomczak in the direction of Gentry, but picked off by Walls. Everson Walls still going. Walls 4-3. Giants lead. They have the ball.
They have everything covered.
On first down, it's Anderson for a couple. Stopped by Hampton.
What's the pressure? You see, the first pressure that he got was from Pepper Johnson, and then he had to pull his hand down, and then when he throws the interception, he's still going to get it. They're still going after him. The first guy that got it was Pepper Johnson. The second guy that got him was Lawrence Taylor. When you wear a team number, you're a marked man, especially when you have QB after your name.
Second and about 7 or 8. Anderson behind Carthon. Anderson again. Hit right at the line of scrimmage by William Perry. No advance.
I tell you, if you run in there too many times on William Perry, you're going to have a lot of no advances. That's one thing that I was surprised that the Giants kept trying to do, is run right in there on that guy, because that's darn near an impossibility. I think just about everything else the Giants did today, they had success except that.
3rd and 8. Hostetler with Carthon behind him in motion now, and he gives our fakes to Anderson. Hostetler dives close to the first down. That's close and dangerous.
I'll tell you, you know who's thinking about this play right here? That bootleg play with the quarterback running, the quarterback diving. He's trying to make a Bavaro play now. But I'll guarantee you who's watching it and thinking about it right now is Charles Haley of the 49ers. Because he's the guy who loves to go after the quarterback and doesn't like to keep containment.
First down on the dive by Hostetler. This game is presented by the authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Chicago Bears, and the New York Giants and the National Football League is prohibited. Now they're going to review the spot.
After further review, play stands as called. First down.
It is a first down.
Hey, what they're talking about again is the Bears have really had trouble keeping containment of Hostetler.
Really?
He is, and you know, if you take your outside guys and you tell them to contain, then a lot of times that takes the aggressiveness out of them. So then you just get them standing there. So then if you get them standing there, you say, come on, go after him. Then you go after him, and the quarterback gets outside. It'll drive you nuts.
It takes him right out of the pass rush.
And I think that's exactly what happened to Richard Dent.
Ingram, the man in motion. To Anderson. And OJ to the 40, to the 35. A pickup of 6. Stopped by Roper.
Old OJ still has some fight into him, too, doesn't he? He said, you know, he was saying last year, he said he had a pretty good year, and everyone was saying OJ made a comeback. He said, but he had a pulled groin all year. He said he was never healthy all last year. He said this year he's healthy, and I think he's making moves like he did 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah. 21 times he's handled it.
In fact, they got a surprise. The team has a surprise. I thought they'd given it to him, but they bought him a Rolex watch, I've heard, for his 10,000 yards. They haven't given it to him yet.
2nd and 4. Anderson got the rest. That's Tillman. Inside the 35, he picked up 3. Sean Gale made the stop. 24-3. The Giants over the Bears. A sad end to that chapter.
You know, you think
that book.
You think that book that he has that equipment on, that helmet, the shoulder pads, jerseys, hand pad. You've been wearing it for so many years of your life, not only your 12 years with your Bears, but college, high school, all the way back. And after this game's over, you're going to take it over, take it off, and never put it on again.
I think he's ready. Third and about a yard. And Tillman fighting. I think he got it. Picked up 2. Gale made the stop along with Perry.
I think that realization has set in on that Bear sideline that the season's over. It's been a good season for Dan Hampton. Of course, it's been a great career, but I think they realize now it's all done.
Clock running, 8:20 left to play in this contest. Jeff Hostetler's done a heck of a job today. Otis Anderson has been outstanding.
How about that giant offensive line and defensive line? I think that's a big story. The lines have controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
That's Tillman inside the 25. Stopped by Carrier and Cox. The coordinating producers of the NFL on CBS, Charles H. Milton III and Ed Gorin. This game produced by Robert D. Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The NFL Today produced by Eric Mann, directed by Kathy Barretto. Senior producer David Winter and the executive producer Ted Shaker. And be sure to stay around after the game is over for the post-game show, the NFL Today, where they'll be talking with the retiring Dan Hampton as well as the winners, the Giants. Tillman to about the 21. Mark Carrier made the stop.
Yeah, they've really done a lot over there on that left side today, and I think you have to give Jumbo Elliott and William Roberts a lot of credit too in the job that they've done in the tight ends. That most of their running, or most of their successful running, has been to that left side. I think the Giants slumped a little when they lost Jumbo Elliott. He had a broken leg for a while, and he was out. And then when he came back, that gave them that big guy they need in that offensive line. That guy to kind of anchor, you know, to kind of hang everyone else on.
Jumbo, when he had that broken leg, he wouldn't talk about it. He wouldn't talk to anybody about it.
Well, no, and Coach Parcells said, you know, he just has a leg. He has a little leg. He has a leg. He's not playing. And that leg that he had was a broken leg.
You'd ask him, how are you? I'm fine. Why aren't you playing? I'm fine.
Yeah,
what's wrong? I'm fine.
Yeah, and then when you get, and they say it's non-weight bearing, but when you're that big, I mean, that guy fills out that stuff. I mean, he's well over 300 pounds, Jumbo Elliott. You know, everything is weight bearing.
I was going to say, you showed me a part of a guy like that. It's not weight bearing. Third down, about a foot.
I like him. You know, he may not be a bad guy to put on the All-Madden team.
I was just going to say.
I mean, a cold day, you come out there, your shirt sleeves, you have them short, you got to take on Dent, got to take on that tough Bear defense, you bang in there all day. That's not a bad choice. I like him.
Your helmet looks like a skull cap. First down, Giants. Four and a half minutes left to play.
Let's just watch him fire out here. You watch and see what a tackle that you see. You got to stay low, boom, and just fire out like that. That's pretty doggone good. I mean, he took McMichael and he just put him right to the ground. That's a drive block. I mean, you could take that one to the movies and show it. That's how to drive block.
Well, Bill Parcells was telling us if we win, it certainly looks like they're going to over Mike Ditka's Bears. If we win and the weather's bad here in the East, they're going to go to Phoenix during the week before they face the 49ers. Tillman right side. A gain of 4.
I bet they don't go to Phoenix. I know Bill Parcells. The last time they went to Phoenix, they had a disaster out there in L.A. I think, and he likes it here. He's going to stay here. Here's a guy who has to wear the same clothes. You know, he has a pair of pants that the zipper doesn't work, and that's why he has that big old coat. You know, so you can't see. But he has to wear those pants with a broken zipper all the time.
Those are superstitious pants.
I know it. Well, I mean, he has more superstitions than all the other coaches in this league put together. He has more.
His office, for example, is full of elephants. He loves elephants. They're winning elephants.
I'll tell you, he has done a heck of a job in the years that he's been here.
That's Tillman. And about the 10 or 11, a pickup of 5. Tough loss for Mike Ditka and the Bears. They just, as John Madden said, took a physical beating. Although they beat New Orleans last week, you could tell at the end of the game, almost after every play, somebody left.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought, you know, were they going to be able to get it up and come in here again? And we talk about Bill Parcells has done an excellent job. Mike Ditka has done an excellent job of, you know, recovering from last year and bringing this Bear team back to the year that they had.
3rd and 1. A handoff to Tillman, and he's got a first down. Ron Cox made the stop, and we'll have the 2-minute warning at Giants Stadium with the Giants leading the Bears 24-3. Jeff Hostetler, we hope. Matt Millen is standing by on the West Coast. It's Carthon to the 5. Matt Millen, of course, had a great year with the 49ers.
Matt Millen is one guy who will understand what the word slobber knocker means.
Timeout, Bears. October the 5th, 1969. Bill Parcells was an assistant coach at West Point. Bobby Knight was the basketball coach. Rodney Hampton was 6 months old. Richard Nixon was the president. Dan Hampton back in the game. He wants to finish his career on the field. Carthon hammers over the left side, stopped by Ryan.
Yeah, I think it's fitting that Dan Hampton went back in and made the tackle on that play. He was on the sideline, and he didn't want to finish his career standing on the sideline. You know, if they're going to be in there, he wanted to go in and play it. If this is going to be his last game, he wants to go out playing.
Well, it's been a wonderful career. An All-American at Arkansas. He's got a ranch down in Cabot, Arkansas. Wants to get into the broadcasting business. He would do well. Straight ahead, stopped by Hampton and others.
Yeah, if he keeps playing like this, I think he's going to want another year. I mean, he's got down there in the goal line, and he's tough too. We saw him there. Watch him, 99. He's just standing that whole side straight up. There's just 99. They just run right into him. There's nothing there.
Think about 10 knee operations for Dan Hampton. There's a guy. Whoa, what credit he deserves. Otis Anderson. And the guy next to him, Bill Parcells. Hampton, 10 knee operations. I don't know how many broken fingers. One broken leg. One leg shorter than the other. Carthon. Straight ahead. Touchdown. From a yard out. Maurice Carthon, the blocker. I think Bill Parcells just took a bath.
Yeah, he did. They went back to the old bucket again, and then he got the headbutt from Pepper. They got all kinds of things going there in the sideline.
That Gatorade took care of the hairdo.
There it is.
It's a new kind of moose.
But he's still looking up. See O.J. Anderson run off. He has one ball. Maurice Carthon has the other ball. Carthon doesn't get a lot of these. In fact, I don't know if he has that one. They're reviewing that one. Did the ball break the plane? I know the guy who was making the big argument there was Dan Hampton. He didn't want to go out in his last play where they scored against him. Watch it here. Does the ball break the plane? Yep, it sure does.
Yep.
From that angle there, you can see that it broke the plane.
And that's what has to happen for it to be called a touchdown. The ball is the key thing.
Now the Giants are lined up there with their
After further
extra
review,
point team.
play stands is called touchdown.
Then you get another celebration. That's a good thing about this instant replay. You get a whole bunch of celebrate. You celebrate when you do it. Then you celebrate when they say, hey, what you just did really did happen.
I still don't think Mike Ditka likes it. No matter how many celebrations you get. The extra point by Barr is good. 31-3. And stay with us. Again, a reminder. The Bears.
The old Cal Stanford play. Where's the band?
That's all she wrote. Tillman made the stop. The Giants and the 49ers here on CBS next week at Candlestick. Jeff Hostetler, who had a great day. A disappointing last game for that man, Dan Hampton. Bill Parcells, who came up with such a magnificent way to play against Mike Ditka's Bears.
He also made some gutsy calls, those fourth down calls that, you know, after you win 31-3, they look like they were nothing, but boy, at the time, were those big calls that Bill Parcells had to make.
As that celebration continues.
Bill Parcells said during the week, he said, Dan Hampton could always play for me. I wish he would have played for me.
There are a lot of coaches who wish that.
And I would be one of those. Mark Collins looks like he's okay. Remember, he was injured. They took him off in a golf cart. He's given that okay signal that that ankle is okay, and he'll be all right for the 49ers next week.
He had his trumpet with him on the cart.
And they're talking already about going back to San Francisco.
Well, it's a slobber knocker when they're against each other, and after it's over, they forget all about it. That's Wellington Mara, president of the Giants, standing at the door to the locker room.
Hey, baby.
Hey, that four-man line of the Giants got him. Jeff Hostetler, here's his running, and the total dominance of both lines.
Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show.